Greenhaus here, Project Manager and Chief Engineer at EVSR. As we continue to develop and build EVSR Gen 2 cars, we will be testing some new ways to get better cooling for our batteries. In the Gen 1 EVSRs, we had the cells contained in heavy aluminum boxes. EVSR has been racing thousands of miles in the past 5 years, and we've determined that the metal boxes are a good protection for the batteries, although the heat buildup and the inaccessibility to the pack makes it difficult to service or deal with in the event of an emergency. We will be moving to an exoskeleton containment system which will allow for better battery management due to the increase in passive airflow to the pack and ease of service. A way to decrease the thermal output will be to use optimal bus bar configuration. How will we know what is optimal? EVSR has always been a large-scale project with a small core staff. We believe our extensive experience with the technology and components we use in a real-world setting will allow a practical engineering experiment to guide our bus bar decision. On particularly hot days, we have melted the tops of some cells. For the past 5 years, we have been using thick aluminum bus bars fastened directly to the top of the battery, as you can see in this photo. We are going to use this as our control, so to speak. The second configuration is going to use the same thick aluminum bus bar, but it will be raised off the top of the cell with a pair of copper washers, custom machined to the exact measurement of the top of the battery contact surface. This gap will allow for more airflow and hopefully prevent the bus bar from fusing with the batteries. The third configuration we are testing uses two thinner aluminum bus bars, a pair of copper washers between the battery and the first bus bar, and another pair of copper washers to separate the two bus bars. Lastly, we'll be using a thin aluminum bus bar and a copper bus bar. The copper bus bar isn't a solid piece of metal, it is comprised of 5 thin layers of copper. Copper washers will separate the two bars and keep the bus bars off the top of the cell. The battery configuration in EVSR is 25 cells per side, and we will vary the front to back order of the 4 pack configurations between the left and right to account for any variations in airflow or location in the pack. Our end goal is to determine what will make the coolest temperatures in the pack, and more specifically at the bus bars and the battery contact points on top of the batteries. Whichever of these configurations is the coolest will also indicate which design offers the least electrical resistance. Our method of measurement will be to run a full session and immediately take temperature measurements of all the bus bars with an infrared pyrometer. We look forward to the results and expect to see noticeable differences between the different configurations. The battery configuration in EVSR is 25 cells per side, and we will vary the front to back order of these 4 configurations between left and right to account for any variations in airflow or location in the pack. Our end goal is to determine what will make the coolest temperatures in the pack, and more specifically at the bus bars and battery contact points. Whichever of these configurations is the coolest will also indicate which design offers the least electrical resistance. Our method of measurement will be to run a full session and immediately take temperature measurements of the bus bars with an infrared pyrometer. We look forward to the results and expect to see noticeable differences between the different configurations. We want to thank all of you for following our journey for the past 5 years and for many more to come. EVSR is the most raced fully electric race car in the world, with more events and miles than any other electric race team. We do it for pennies on the dollar as compared to any other team, and in our 5 years and nearly 150 race starts, we have never had a mechanical failure that has prevented us from finishing an event. We have a perfect safety record and one of the longest competitive ranges, if not the longest, including Formula E. Be sure to follow our Gen 2 build on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching.